They said everyone has a price. In 2022, Brooks Koepka's price was reported to be north of $100 million. It was the check that broke professional golf, shattered friendships, and supposedly secured his family's bloodline for generations. But as we kick off 2026, the unthinkable has happened. The face of the Rebel League, the man who stared down the PGA Tour and won, has walked away. Brooks Koepka has officially left LIV Golf. But here's the question nobody is asking. What happened to the money? When you hand a hyper-competitive, chip-on-his-shoulder athlete a 9-figure wire transfer, things get wild, fast. From a concrete fortress in Florida that neighbors Michael Jordan to a wedding that looked more like a music festival, Brooks didn't just spend money, he built a kingdom. And now he's abandoning the very league that paid for it. Today we are following the paper trail. We're exposing the most insane purchases, the hidden costs, and the absolute luxury that defined Kepka's LIV era, and revealing why his most expensive purchase of all might have been his exit ticket. To understand the spending, you have to understand the payday. When Brooks Koepka defected to LIV in June 2022, rumors swirled that his signing bonus was anywhere between $100 million and $130 million. Let's be clear about what that means. That is not win a tournament money. That is buy the golf course money. Before the ink was even dry, Kepka's net worth effectively tripled overnight. At the time, Brooks was battling injuries. His knee was shattered, his confidence was low, and critics said he was cashing out before his body broke down. But Brooks viewed it differently. He viewed it as venture capital for the rest of his life. This massive injection of cash didn't just sit in a savings account. It immediately triggered a lifestyle shift that went from wealthy pro athlete to international tycoon. But as we'd soon find out, when you sign a deal with the Saudis for that kind of cash, you aren't just buying Ferraris, you're selling a piece of your soul. And for a guy like Brooks, that transaction came with a heavy tax. The first place that LIV money landed wasn't in a stock portfolio. It was poured into concrete in Jupiter, Florida. If you want to know where a man's head is at, look at where he sleeps. And Brooks Koepka decided to build a sanctuary that screams, "Keep out." Located in the ultra-exclusive Penick Point neighborhood, Kepka dropped $3.35 million just for the dirt, the land itself. But that was just the appetizer. He tore down the existing structure to build a custom, 13,000 square foot modern fortress. We are talking 6 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms, and a design that is stark, modern, and aggressive. Much like his golf game, the valuation of this property has skyrocketed to an estimated $15 million, and it's easy to see why. The backyard isn't grass, it's pristine, tour-quality AstroTurf. Why? Because when you are worth 9 figures, you don't wait for grass to grow. You install perfection. The estate sits right on the water, offering a direct escape route via boat, and features a massive pool that looks more like a resort in Vegas than a residential swim spot. This house wasn't just a purchase, it was a statement. It was Brooks planting a flag in the ground right next to Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan, essentially saying, "I belong here now." But unlike Tiger, who earned his estate through decades of dominance, Brooks built his with rebel money, a fact that likely didn't sit well with some of his Jupiter neighbors. While the house was being built, Brooks turned his attention to another massive expense, the wedding. Now, celebrity weddings are usually pricey, but the Kepka Sims union in Turks and Caicos was a masterclass in burning cash. Taking place just as the LIV rumors were turning into reality, this event was a blowout of epic proportions. We aren't just talking about a nice ceremony at a Ritz-Carlton. This was a multi-day island takeover. He flew in rappers like Ludacris for private performances. The guest list was a who's who of the sports world, and the level of customization was obsessive. From custom Nike sneakers for the groomsmen, embroidered with Team Brooks, to a party atmosphere that felt more like a nightclub than a nuptial, the spending was uncapped. Estimates for a destination wedding of this caliber easily push into the 7-figure range. But for Brooks, this was more than a party. It was a victory lap. It was the moment he transitioned from the guy who grinds in the gym to the guy who owns the island. It was also the last time we saw the entire golf world united in one room before the LIV split fractured everything. Looking back, that wedding was the closing ceremony of the old era of golf, financed by the new era of money. You can't talk about insane purchases without looking at the wrist. Brooks has been a Rolex ambassador for years, sporting the Sky Dweller and the Daytona in trophy ceremonies. But when the cameras are off and the LIV checks clear, the collection gets deeper. Eagle-eyed fans have spotted Kepka rocking the Patek Philippe Nautilus 5726A. This is a watch with a retail price around $45,000, but good luck finding one. On the gray market, you are paying double or triple that. It's a flex that says, "I don't need a sponsor to give me this. I'll just buy the company." Then there are the toys. Living in Jupiter means golf cart culture is real, but Brooks doesn't drive a standard club car. We're talking custom, lifted, street-legal carts that cost more than a Honda Civic. And let's not forget the travel. While he has a relationship with NetJets, the cost of flying private exclusively, for him, his wife Gina, and his team, burns through millions annually. When you leave the PGA Tour, you lose some of the subsidized travel perks. But with LIV money, Brooks upgraded. No more commercial flights, ever. He bought back his time, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just to avoid TSA lines. It's the ultimate purchase for a guy who hates wasting time. Here's the purchase most people ignore: human capital. Brooks Koepka isn't just a golfer. He is a corporation, and the payroll for Brooks Koepka Inc. is staggering. First, there's Ricky Elliott, his caddy. In the world of golf, the standard is 10% of winnings. When Brooks won the PGA Championship in 2023, taking home $3.15 million, Ricky likely pocketed a cool $315,000 for 4 days of work. Add in the signing bonus kickbacks. It's rumored caddies got a taste of the LIV upfront money, and Ricky Elliott might be the richest looper in history. But it goes deeper. Brooks employs a full-time chef, a physio, and a trainer who travel with him. Remember, Brooks's body is his asset. After his knee surgeries, he didn't trust standard rehab. He hired the best specialists in the world to be on call 24/7. That is a burn rate of $500,000 to $1 million a year just in salaries. He is paying a fortune to maintain the machine. This is the unglamorous spending, the maintenance costs of a high-performance athlete. He effectively purchased a mobile hospital and gym to follow him around the world, ensuring that when he stepped onto the first tee, he was the most dangerous man in the field. Now let's talk about the money he lost, the reputation tax. When Brooks joined LIV, he didn't just gain $100 million. He lost access to the traditional marketing machine. Sponsors like Michelob Ultra and Nike stuck by him. But how many deals did he miss out on? How many legacy bonuses from the PGA Tour did he forfeit? We also have to talk about fines. The DP World Tour and PGA Tour levied fines and suspensions against defectors. While LIV reportedly covered some of these, the legal fees associated with the antitrust lawsuits before the merger talks began were astronomical. But the biggest cost was the world ranking plummet. By playing on a tour with no ranking points for years, Brooks fell off the algorithmic map. This triggers clauses in endorsement contracts that reduce payouts. If you aren't in the top 10, your Nike check gets smaller. So while the LIV money was guaranteed, he was actively bleeding money on the back end of his endorsement deals. He purchased security, but he paid for it with relevancy. We have to mention his franchise. As captain of Smash GC, Brooks wasn't just a player, he was a GM. He had equity in the team. He was responsible for the brand. He spent time and money trying to build Smash GC into a legitimate sports franchise. The merchandise, the branding, the recruitment, it all takes capital. He even had a public feud with teammate Matthew Wolff, essentially trying to fire a guy from a team he helped build. This was Brooks trying to play Jerry Jones, spending his emotional and mental capital on a league that, frankly, struggled to find an audience. He bought into the vision that LIV teams would be worth billions one day. By walking away now, in 2026, he is effectively admitting that the equity might be worthless. He is writing off that investment. He bought a lottery ticket, scratched it, saw it was a loser, and tossed it in the trash. So we arrive at January 2026. Brooks Koepka has the mansion, he has the watches, he has the major titles. But he has made the most shocking purchase of his life, the purchase of his exit. Walking away from LIV Golf with time left on his contract is complicated. We don't know the exact settlement figures yet, but it is highly likely Brooks had to leave money on the table. Maybe he gave back the last year of his bonus. Maybe he paid a buyout clause. In a way, he just wrote a multi-million-dollar check to not play golf for the Saudis anymore. He bought his freedom. He bought the chance to play a schedule that makes sense for his family. He bought the ability to look at his legacy and say, I did it my way. The house, the cars, the weddings, those are just things. But the ability to walk away from $100 million because you simply don't want to be there anymore, that is the ultimate flex. Brooks Koepka proved that cash is king, but freedom is the ace. And as he heads into this new chapter, potentially eyeing a return to the PGA Tour or just fading into his Jupiter fortress, one thing is clear. The big three of LIV is dead, and Brooks is the one holding the shovel. So I have to ask you, if you were Brooks, would you have stayed for the final check? Or is your peace of mind worth more than millions? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the finances of golf's biggest rebel, hit that like button. You won't believe what we uncovered about Bryson DeChambeau's spending in our next video. See you there.